you to the... Do I need to bring you to the thing? We're currently live, I believe. Yeah, we're definitely live for sure. Now I just need to know if audio is there. To the stage. All right, Webner, I have you on the stage now. Can you hear me, Webner?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, good deal. Can you hear the audio from the Robotaxi thing or no? That's so crazy.
Tesla leads the way in autonomous driving technology. The Robotaxi is coming. Are you ready?
I can hear that one.
You can hear
Loud
this
and
one?
clear. Yeah.
There's something really weird going on here. So,
how about try that one? We Robot.
yeah, no, but here's the really weird thing: is this one says Technical Ninja, right?
Yeah, Technical Ninja.
Which means this is a different YouTube channel, okay?
Yeah, maybe it's a clone.
Maybe. Yeah. Huh.
Breaking innovation that promises to redefine how we think about mobility.
Tesla here.
Get ready for the highly anticipated Robotaxi, a vehicle designed from the ground up.
And then this one doesn't. It says We Robot, and then it just says We Robot.
Yeah, it just says notifying me.
Okay. I'll have to just keep both of these up and active. Notify me. Yeah, let's turn Notify Me on. That one is like a weird clone that it's just like...
Yeah, I also watched that.
It's definitely a different YouTube channel name right here. But when you click into it... Oh, you know what I think they did? I think they created a playlist, and then inside that playlist... But this one just says waiting, though. It doesn't say... It's not like they're playing a live stream of that same one.
Yeah.
All right, so it's about to start in 2 minutes. I'll let this one play.
The Robotaxi represents the pinnacle of innovation. Designed without steering wheels or pedals, it embodies the future of travel. Elon Musk has teased its futuristic design, hinting that it could be called the Cybercab. The anticipation surrounding this reveal is palpable as we inch closer to a world where cars drive themselves. At the upcoming event, we will share groundbreaking details
today that he posted.
Yeah. So there's clearly something with that guy. I'm not trying to say that, that's not the case, but there were multiple Tesla executives posting on.
Hey, look, there we are live.
You're on YouTube live too.
Yeah, let's go.
Already live.
Cool. All right, so why we kind of just wait for to find out what the actual YouTube channel is that's there. Again, when we click into this one, it's taking us to what looks like the official YouTube channel, and it's playing some video feed. So I'll let that video feed play, but I think this one's actually the more official one, this We Robot, because this one just says some other things. I don't know. I just don't feel like this is the official one. I think there's some spoofing or something going on here.
Our unique vision and commitment. We are prepared to lead.
So I'll make it. Huh? Did they? Awesome. When? Sweet. How long? Oh, that's good.
Event that will revolutionize the future of mobility.
Oh, shit.
Today, we're not just talking about new technologies. We're ushering in a new era where self-driving cars will become a regular part of our lives. Remember to scan the QR code that appears on the screen to change your life forever. the required amount needed to participate is 0.5 Ethereum and 0.1 Bitcoin.
This
When
is
we talk about
definitely-
Robotaxi,
I need to stop this. Something's not right here. Something really weird going on there. I got this playing on another TV, guys, so I'm going to let this one play because I feel like this is the more official one. And then I have it playing on another TV in front of me as well.
Each Robotaxi has sensors and cameras that analyze its surroundings in real time to provide safe navigation in all conditions. We make use of LiDAR, radar, and ultrasonic sensors for maximum accuracy. This enables our cars to see 360 degrees around them and steer clear of obstacles. Don't miss the chance to be part of this revolution. Scan the QR code that appears on the screen to change your life forever.
Yeah, this other channel is definitely like a spoof. It's saying like some weird stuff on repeat and stuff like that. So that one, definitely avoid that one, guys, if you're gonna like watch this yourselves. Here's the true live event right here. Let's see. All right. While this is launching up, I'll give you a brief introduction of myself. I'm Malachi Greb, CEO of Elite Automation. We run a automation company where we integrate robotics. We design automated systems, weld fixturings, all different types of automated pieces of capital equipment for the manufacturing space. So myself personally, I come from a programming background, a lot of robot programming, PLC programming, and dealing with things like vision. And I have a very good understanding of vision systems and how they work at a fundamental level, and have been able to experience and observe code working at its very base level and using very, very base level or not computer, like camera tools, right? And back like 20 years ago before, I guess it's not 20 years, 10 years ago, before 15, maybe even, that before vision got to the point where it is today and has the capabilities that it has today, there used to be a lot more hard coding and there was a lot less tools that were just built. You had to actually custom build vision tools back in the day. And so I worked for a company who was actually one of the leading companies in that technology. Long story short, they did a very bad job at like packaging it as a product and like mass selling it to the market. But there was many, many years where this company was better than a Keyence or a Cognex. If you're from the manufacturing sector, then you probably know what Keyence and Cognex is. So, you know, Keyence and Cognex are essentially vision systems for doing different type of inspections, vision locations, things along those lines. So point being why I mentioned all these things is because Robotaxi, the technology in it, it's all basically the same type of things, right? We do stuff with AMR technologies, which AMRs are autonomous mobile robots, which they're basically autonomous vehicles that drive around factory floors. It's another one of the things that we do. It's another one of the things I personally been involved in integrating. And those also have, I won't say similar technologies, right? But a lot of it has the same premises. You have encoders that are devices that can track like counts, right? So like if you've seen somebody that has one of those wheels that they run across the ground with to measure like how many miles something is or how many square feet a house is or something along those lines, essentially an encoder is a digital version of that, where how many ever revolutions it is, it converts to some digital input, right? That we can then convert. So for so many encoder clicks, that equals X amount of miles the vehicle has traveled. So I'm not exactly 100% positive on what Tesla's hardware is. However, I know for a fact that they're using this because you have to have encoders to be able to detect things like slippage and like if you slip on ice or different things like that, right? That's what gives you the ability to detect how the car is reacting based on its inputs and outputs. So yeah, with that being said, I'm feeling very confident about, the Robotaxi being able to work with the vision systems. I don't necessarily think that it needs LiDAR. I do think that there's a potential that LiDAR could be advantageous to the Robotaxi, but I don't think it's a must. I just think the thing about LiDAR, and the number one thing that LiDAR has over vision, is LiDAR is better at measurement. So vision has to be calibrated, where vision out of the box doesn't know how far away something is, right? That's the reason why, like, say, for instance, a Cybertruck, whenever they released it, didn't have autonomy. Why? Why would you think that it doesn't have autonomy? It maybe has the same hardware, has the same devices, cameras. It should all work, right? That's what you would think. But the issue is because it's on a different device, and because the cameras are mounted in different locations, it messes with the vehicle's calibration, right? So now the calibration's off. So it has to get enough road time to be able to rebuild its calibration. I'm gonna stop real quick and see, make sure there's no audio here. Okay, so we're still waiting here. But yeah, so it has to calibrate, right? And then so what that calibration may look like is basically the Cybertruck's driving around, it's looking at all the things around it, it's checking its encoders, it's basically, since it's video feed, right? It's basically snapping an image, rolling forward so many encoder counts, snapping another image, rolling forward so many encoder counts, snapping an image. And I'm just breaking this down to kind of a fundamental way of how this would work. This is not necessarily exactly how it works, but these principles are how it will work and how it does work. So, and also things with like the neural nets, some of it, it's like it's teaching itself these things, right? It has some type of parameters there that makes it so it's teaching itself. But I'm just trying to give these like fundamental thought processes of how it is working behind the scenes, so that way you can kind of get a glimpse of like why things like the Cybertruck is getting launched without self-driving, whereas you already have these other vehicles that have already been launched with self-driving. Yeah, so I think this Robotaxi is a big deal. You know, as far as like a a business stance, it's going to be such a huge revenue driver. In multiple reasons for that. One, just because they're going to make money by operating the Robotaxis, by the owners of the cars operating that Robotaxi. They're now going to get a recurring revenue that they wouldn't normally get by just selling a vehicle, right? When you sell a vehicle, there's generally not a recurring revenue. You sell it one time and then it's done. Well, now you have things like FSD. You can pay monthly for FSD. You can pay monthly for premium connectivity. You can pay monthly for full self-driving. We have something going here. Hey, Webner, I don't know if is this link public? Do you know?
Which one do you mean? I'm watching from StreamYard.
Yeah, but somebody just joined our live stream here. They just left. Somebody else was just in our live stream though. Some John Silva dude.
On YouTube, the people watching come and go. Right now, it's 4, 6 on YouTube.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Somebody joined our live stream, like into our studio.
I think it's me.
No, it's not you. It's some John Silva dude. But whatever. Hey, John Silva, if you're there. But yeah, somebody joined into our live stream, so somebody has our live stream link somehow. I don't know how, but
maybe.
So they joined our studio, whatever. But back to it. Where was I at? Oh, okay. So yeah, one of the other major things for the Robotaxi is they're going to get that recurring revenue. Okay, after that recurring revenue, the other thing it's going to do is it's going to give a huge advantage to Tesla as an automobile manufacturer. Sorry, but the reason it will do that is because the customer can now also earn revenue, aka earn money off of their Tesla vehicle by putting it in the Robotaxi fleet. So never in the history of vehicles have you been able to own a vehicle and then send your vehicle out to go and make you money, right? This is huge because this gives the ability for individuals that don't really have other revenue streams to have other revenue streams, or like small business owners, somebody who wants to get started in business. They could start buying Teslas and own 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them and kind of build out fleets of these Teslas. And so, with that being said, now somebody who would have normally only bought one vehicle for their household now bought 6. And again, that's 1, more revenue for Tesla because somebody's buying more vehicles. And then 2, revenues or Tesla is also getting a revenue stream from both the full self-driving subscription, the premium connectivity, and also the Robotaxi commissions that they're going to be drawing. So, then with that being said, it's going to give Tesla the edge over other automobile manufacturers because nobody else is going to be able to do this, right? Ford's not going to be able to do this. GM, you have, let's say, for instance, a competitor, Waymo, right? But if you go look at a Waymo, as of right now, they have so much hardware and such expensive hardware on that vehicle that is not available to consumers, right? So I can't recall what the exact cost is of all the hardware on like a Waymo self-driving vehicle, but it's like $250,000, right? So if the vehicle sells for $250,000, there's some business people that may be willing to buy, these Waymo equipped vehicles and, start businesses like that with this $250,000 vehicle. There'll be people that are willing to do that 101%. But the problem with that is mass population won't be able to do that. Most people won't be able to get a loan. Some just 9-to-5 individual or some engineer, working at a manufacturing plant, they're not going to necessarily be able to pull a loan to be able to get that Waymo vehicle at $250,000 or have the 20% down that like a lot of loans require to buy something like that. So, Waymo's kind of out of the question as far as being being in competition with Tesla on this, right? The only other potential competition that would be there is another, autonomous vehicle manufacturer, which will be none of them. And the only potential that they probably have, since nobody is near to Tesla in the progression of the nobody's near Tesla in the progression of the Robotaxi, right? Or just autonomous driving, right? That's the first thing. You have to crack the autonomous mobile driving. So since nobody else is close to that autonomous driving, there is no competition. The only potential for that competition is that Tesla was to license out their software to other people such as Ford, GM, Toyota, whatever, and equip their vehicles with the sensor technology, the compute technology, the software technology, right? All those things becoming a licensing for Tesla, right? And also on top of that, there's going to have to be design integration. And when I say design integration, you have to design in the cameras physically, right? Where those cameras are going to be located at. And GM and these other OEMs are going to have to take feedbacks from Tesla. That's just the way this sector works, the way this industry works. So like, let's say for instance, we're doing a lot in the seat framing sector. Okay. We're doing some stuff for Lucid. So, we have our customer that is also there in between Lucid. Right. So, basically with us and our customer, we're in partnership. It's a tier 1 supplier is our customer, right? So we have a tier 1 supplier who's supplying to Lucid, and whenever they're designing the seat frame, which is what we're working with, right? When they're designing the seat frame, our customer is going back and forth with Lucid to design the seat frame, right? Our customer doesn't just design the seat frame and then just say, here you go, right? It's a back and forth thing, multiple meetings a week. The to check tracking the progress of the project, and making sure the design is matching what their expectations are, and making sure it passes things like safety and just design standards and things like that. So this is not a free service, right? Tesla is going to charge for all this, and these services are not cheap services, right? We're playing directly in this, so this is one thing where we have a very good understanding. Let me make sure there's not audio here. Yeah, we just want, so this is where we have a really good understanding of what goes on behind the scenes in this sector of business, right? We know how these relationships are working on behind the scenes, and just it gives us insights into how these things are working. And also when we're designing things for our customer, right? So we're designing a lot of weld fixturing, and so that weld fixturing is designed for the seat frames. So through the design process with our customer, we're going back and forth with them and changing the design to match with, some of the expectations they have, and just making sure that, the best engineering practices are being followed, and presenting those practices to them. It gets too technical for me to dive too deep into what we're doing, and also like, NDA type of stuff. I can't get too deep into everything that we're doing, but it's a back and forth thing. And then let's say first we design our product. Lucid says, never mind, we want to change this thing on there about the seat frame. We want to change the shape of it or something. We want to change this mechanism here or whatever, right? That then changes the product, then changes, let's say, the weld fixture that we have to design for this. So now we have to go through a design change. So just like, for example, like the one Lucid project we're working on, there's probably a total of, I don't know, 20 design changes already. So there's 20 design changes, and we're literally just getting started with, or not to say we're not just getting started with the project, but the project's not even over with. So bringing this back, if Tesla was to license the full self-driving, they would have to go through some process like this with GM, Toyota, Ford, any of these guys, right? And again, these are not cheap. Tesla would be able to charge probably millions and millions of dollars, which is somewhat small money, right, for a Tesla, right? But anyway, they'll be able to charge millions of dollars just for these design services, right? Just for this collaboration and this working together, right? And let's say maybe they don't charge for that directly, but they're going to put that into the licensing package. And so that licensing package, the way that might work is, either Ford, I'm just going to use Ford as an example. Ford pays Tesla X amount of money. Well, let's go back. The customer will pay Ford for the full self-driving, right? The customer will pay Ford a monthly subscription for the full self-driving. Ford will then pay Tesla for the full self-driving. And so now Tesla's making a commission off of that Ford vehicle having the Tesla autopilot, right? And so then we're back to another revenue stream. And we're not just back to, a small revenue stream. It's a revenue stream of every vehicle that somebody wants to be able to turn this on in their vehicle. And anybody who's really trying to make some extra money, this is what's so crazy. Anybody who's trying to make some extra money can literally just say, yeah, let me buy the one that has the full self-driving, turn it on. They pay the $200 a month or whatever it costs for the full self-driving. And then they start making money. So it's that easy. And if these companies like Ford or Tesla or whatever want to make the entry even lower, they can remove the risk. When I say remove the risk, I mean you could essentially not charge for full self-driving, make full self-driving free, but we're going to take a bigger commission off of the rides, right? So maybe they're going to take 20% commissions off the rides, the Robotaxi type of rides, okay? So for every ride that they do, they're going to take the 20%. In the case where the subscription is paid for by the customer. Now, when the subscription is not paid for by the customer and they give the subscription for free and you have Robotaxi turned on, now instead we're going to take 40% of the revenue for the Robotaxi rides, right? And maybe even take 50%. Really, if they're giving it for free, they can really say whatever percent they want. They're just going to have to choose a percent that's a good balance where it makes sense for the customer still, and Tesla is also making more money. But it's going to. Oh, hold on. I see something. Dude, what is going on? I'm gonna go check another YouTube. Just make sure. What is going on here? I'm checking YouTube on another page real quick to see. Sorry to stop on my yip yakking here. Oh, man. Tesla. Is this really Tesla? I'm doing some digging, guys, to see if 2.7 million. Shared with me 3 months ago. It's crazy. It's delayed by like 20 minutes. It's not good. Not good, not good, not good. Okay. Yeah, as of right now, it still looks like we're just waiting on Tesla to go live. Kind of surprised they're delayed on this live event. I think I might start digging around. Let me pull up my phone. I'll try to yip yak in between, but generally I can't do two things at once. I can't yip yak and search for things. I'm not good at multitasking like that. Okay, so Elon himself shared the Tesla product unveil in less than an hour, and it's showing the exact same screen feed as what I have here. So this is it.
So the big question is, Elon, when are you coming out? That's the question. When are we going to change the world? All right, so we are just moments away from Robotaxi event. This is going to change everything. This is why Tesla is more than a car company. So I'm excited. Let me know.
Yeah, that's one thing you hear people saying Tesla's more than a car company, which is kind of a good line to say. I don't really like to say it because I don't like to say the lines that everybody else says. But the two things that I can see with Tesla is first being this Robotaxi thing. It's going to literally make the whole car side of their business peanuts to the Robotaxi. And then the next big thing that they have going is going to be the Tesla Optimus robot. that one right there is going to make Robotaxi obsolete. And when I say obsolete, I mean it's going to become such a small amount of their revenue that it just won't mean anything to the company in comparison, right? So it'd be like the difference of like 100x return. So you have your vehicle, and then you have your autonomous driving, 100x return. Then same thing. You have your Robotaxi to your Optimus robot, 100x return. That's how big of a gap these different things are, and that's why you hear people say like it's more than a car company, right? Because those things alone will dwarf the car side of the company. Not only is that, but really one of the things that will be very disruptive to the industry. And when I say disruptive, it will literally shake the industry and potentially put a lot of companies out of business. Going back to my example with like a Ford or Toyota or one of these other companies, doing some licensing or something like that. Let's say if they don't do the licensing, right? The other car companies are so far behind. If you had the option to buy a Tesla that has the ability to go out into as a fleet vehicle and go make money for you, and you had that as an option, and you could get that car at roughly the same price you can get any of these other vehicles at, why would you not choose that option where you can make some extra money, right? There'll be people that are scared of it and won't want to do it, right? But I'll tell you right now, if Robotaxi was live, it was a functional thing, and had already been passed by regulation, I would have 5 of them sitting in my driveway right now, 10 of them sitting in my driveway right now. I would have a whole warehouse full of them right now, and I would be making money off that revenue stream. Actually, something that I don't think I've discussed publicly with anybody is we're actually doing some vehicle rental things already. So we're doing vehicle rental things and buying vehicles and doing that Airbnb type of thing for vehicles. So that's already something we're getting into. So for somebody like me who's like trying to grow in different businesses and business endeavors and the different things that we have going on, right? Something like this Robotaxi thing fits perfectly under that. Not only can I buy a vehicle that I can rent out, but let's say, for instance, why it's not being rented out, I can put it on the Robotaxi fleet. Or let's say, for instance, maybe I make more money off the Robotaxi fleet. So I initially bought it, was able to put it on my rental fleet. And then after the rental fleet, the Robotaxi went active, and then we started using it in the taxi fleet, right? So we start being able to acquire. Now I'm just giving like kind of the behind the scenes of how I think and like how this would work as a business. So I can acquire more Teslas, right? And I don't have to pay anything for those Teslas because they're being paid for by the rental company, right? The rental company is paying for the vehicles, so there's no how should I say it? It'll be cash flow positive, right? So not only are we acquiring these vehicles, we're cash flow positive, and then we can just rinse and repeat and just do this process until we have, who knows what the limit is of vehicles, right? Maybe we want to expand this and do this in multiple cities and all kinds of things like that. And so we can then acquire these vehicles and then start building out a massive fleet. Let's say, for instance, over the next like 5 years, we have 100, 200 Teslas in the fleet. Then Robotaxi gets approved. Maybe it takes 1-2 more years, right, for the Robotaxi to get approved. And then all the Teslas not only have been being paid on for multiple years, and are maybe even getting close to a payoff of those vehicles, which means there's no debt, no liability against those vehicles. And now they're being able to be used in the Robotaxi fleet, which could potentially be much higher revenue, right? It could be something that's literally, I'll just give random numbers sake, right? Let's say, for instance, it generated $50,000 a month, right? Doing maybe a rental thing. Then we take all those and convert those to doing a Robotaxi type of operation. That might literally turn from $50,000 a month in revenue to or $500,000 a month in revenue. Like, it could be literally that drastic. If you go from, let's say, for instance, renting a vehicle for $120 a day, And now that same vehicle can make, with ride sharing and stuff like that, can make the number would have to be a lot higher. I don't know that it could make that amount of money, but it would, even if you just said $250, right, a day versus the $120 a day, now you're at going from $50,000 a month of revenue to $100,000 a month of revenue. That's a 2x, right? A 2x return in businesses is great anyway, no matter what. So if you're able to get higher multiple than that, where you make $350 a day, $450 a day, so what would the numbers be? If you were to make 500,000, you went from 50,000 to 500,000, you'd have to do 10 times the amount. So you'd have to go from 120, you'd have to make $1,200 a day. So I doubt the vehicle's going to make $1,200 a day, but if it was able to run 24 hours a day, it's plausible it can make that much in a day. In a big city, and it had to be a very big city, probably like LA or New York or someplace that just doesn't shut down, right? And you'd also have to, it probably wouldn't remain like that. If you were the first ones in the city or whatever, then your competition would be lower, and you would basically capture the entire market until other people kind of caught on and started catching up and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's definitely not far-fetched for any city to be able to make like $200 and something a month. Some of the like, let's say an Uber driver, right? Like, I don't hear too many people comparing to like Uber and stuff like that, but I don't hear too many people comparing to like Uber and stuff like that. But an Uber driver, makes anywhere between $40,000 and $120,000 a year. Let me just look it up real quick. You say average of $40,000 a year. Okay, so let's just use the $40,000 per year, right, number as a good number. If you live in a bigger city, I think it's actually much higher than that. I think it's more like $60,000 or $80,000 per year. So could even go up as high as $120,000 a year. But with that being said, this $40,000 to $120,000 a year is working probably an 8-hour shift. Maybe some of those people who are making the higher amount are hustling and doing like a 12-hour shift. Okay, I would say you could probably keep a Tesla on the road for, would it be 20 hours a day? That'd give you 4 hours of charging in a day. Maybe 18. I'd have to do a little bit of math on it and figure out the exact calculations. And so this would be something that I would do, like, as we move forward to do something with the Robotaxi space. We probably will. Like, it's almost definitive that we'll have Robotaxi fleets and stuff at some point in time. Like us as a company, as one of some of our other companies that we have going. That's high likely we'll do it. Whenever we go to do that, I'll crunch the numbers very specifically. I'll look at all the technical data. I'll look at, how long does it take the vehicle to charge? How long can we run it for with that amount of charge time? For example, because there's things that get technical in the sense of, like, say, for instance, in 20 minutes, you can get 80% charge. But to get that last 20%, it's going to take you, an extra like 40 minutes to get to that other 20%. I'm just giving number's sake. So battery systems kind of just work like that. So you might have to do more periodic stops where you stop for 20 minutes and then get back on the road, stop for 20 minutes and get back on the road, because charging from 0 to something is quicker than charging from 80% to 100%. Or I could say 0% to 80% will charge quicker than 80% to 10%, roughly, like on a theoretical basis, right? So like maybe it's 0 to 70%, maybe it's 70 to 100%, but those numbers, something like that, is how the numbers will work out. Just batteries charge quicker at a lower battery percentage than they do at a higher battery percentage. But point being with that is like you calculate how much drive time it can drive, how much drive time can it drive. Let's say, for instance, somewhere between like 18 to 20 hours a day. That gives it 4 to 6 hours of charging time, which should be pretty sufficient. It depends on how much it's driving, right? Is it doing drive after drive after drive? If it's not doing drive after drive after drive, it can literally just stop, post up, and just wait. And it'll wait for the it'll wait for a new ride to come, and it can literally sit there and use no battery at all. It's completely shut down. Or if it gets to a point where it's good enough, we have more Tesla chargers. The charging process is autonomous. This is a big thing that's going to happen. I haven't seen a lot of talk on this, and I don't know why we're not seeing a lot of talk on this, because I think this is a very critical part of the Robotaxi being successful. The charging process has to be automated. Why? Because the vehicle shouldn't have to drive back to the house to recharge. It should stop anywhere and recharge. It should be able to go to a gas station, plug in, and wait, right? That would be the normal process. So, like, say, for instance, when we do AMRs, right? This is the process that we go through. This is the thought process that we have. So, like, say, for instance, it's a huge manufacturing facility. Maybe you put charging locations in multiple locations in the facility. Maybe you have one main charging location. So if a vehicle is going to go and do a long charge, it can go and it could go to that specific charging location to do its long charge. But if it's not doing a long charge, then maybe it only has 5 minutes to do a charge. Maybe it only has 10 minutes to do a charge, 15, 20 minutes to do a charge, right? It's in between drives, right? I'm taking that back to the vehicle a little bit. It's in between its different missions, let's say. Or what would be the word for, it's not a delivery. What do you call it when you deliver a human? We use Uber so much that I just I would say an Uber. A ride, I guess is what we'd call it, okay? So you're waiting between rides, right? And you have 5 minutes until you get your next ride, 10 minutes till you get your next ride, 20 minutes till you get your next ride. Each one of those small gaps in the ride is a perfect time to pull up to a gas station, plug in, and charge for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, right? Any small amount of extra charge that you can get. What's going on here? So, yeah, any small amount of charge that you can get will be very substantial into keeping that thing running all day. If you have 10 minutes between rides, it's going to impact your revenue. But if you can get charges in between your rides, then you don't have to have a full 2-hour charging period, 4-hour charging period. You can just keep rolling all day without having to stop for a charge. Maybe throughout the day you kind of start getting low, and maybe it has to charge for, let's say, for instance, it stops between rides, it charges for 10 minutes, but it's really low, right? The battery's really low. And a ride comes up. So it's like, okay, I have to pass up this ride so I can charge for another 10 minutes. 10 minutes later passes, it then accepts a ride and then rolls out. As soon as it reaches a battery percentage, it rolls out. This is literally the same way that we program, our AMRs. We program them depending on the facility, the location of which it needs to travel, the distance of which it needs to travel, where charge locations are, what the investment is. There's a lot that goes into this, right? But we're talking about completely different infrastructure when we're talking about, vehicles and stuff like that. But the way we go about programming an AMR is in the same process. Like whenever we have an AMR that needs to travel, autonomous mobile robot, if you missed that one. So whenever this thing is traveling through a manufacturing facility, we set it to go charge anytime we think there's a gap, right? Or, if it completed its mission, we will try to put a charger in the loop of its mission. So I'm just using a block for the sake of this example, right? In case you don't know anything about manufacturing, or a line, maybe like a manufacturing line. Maybe it has a loop around a manufacturing line, or let's just say you have a city block that you're going around, okay? Throughout that city block, you have multiple drop-offs and pickups and stuff like that. But in that circle, you have a charger, right? And so every time you make a loop, you stop and you charge, and then you wait 5-10 minutes, right? And then boom, move on. 5-10 minutes, move on. Charge and wait 5-10 minutes, move on, right? And also, whenever it's stopping and charging, it's waiting for a command for it to then leave. Let's say, for instance, in a manufacturing setting, its operator goes on break. So now it has an extra 20 minutes to charge, an extra 30 minutes to charge. Taking this to a Robotaxi setting, this means the taxi has however long it takes for it to get the next ride, right? Or maybe the next ride, the dollar amount is not. So you can set dollar amounts, right? Okay. I won't accept rides that are under $10, right? My Robotaxi won't accept rides that are under $10. I will only accept $10 rides. So a $5 ride comes in, a $7 ride comes in, and whenever you're more particular about stuff like that, or so whenever let me go down this line real quick. Whenever you're more particular about something like that, you'll get less frequent rides because a $5 ride will come in, a $7 ride will come in. These different smaller dollar amount rides will come in, but you'll keep ignoring them, and then you'll select the $10 ride and go. So with that being said, that could also be something that's like algorithmic. What do I mean by algorithmic? It means that the Robotaxi can go and charge, and it's let's say for instance the battery's under 20%. The vehicle can sit there for or the vehicle can change its algorithm that it says, hey, my battery's under 20%. Don't leave this charge station until I get a ride that's over $10, or maybe it's under 10%. If I don't get a ride that's over $15, I won't leave the station. And obviously, too, it has to calculate that it can actually make it to the customer, take the customer where they're going and all that, be able to deliver the customer and get back to a charge station. So those things all have to be calculated, right? And that also might be reasons why it has to like ignore rides, or a distance type of thing, right? A distance thing could go into play where the vehicle's at 10%. A $10 ride pops up. We're not talking about dollars right now anyway, but a $10 ride pops up. It says, okay, it's 0.4 miles. This person needs to be taking 0.4 miles. I pick the person up in 0.4 miles. I take them 0.4 miles more. That's 0.8 miles. Okay, that's under a mile. That only takes like 2% battery. Now that taxi that's there under, that taxi that's there, the taxi that's there under 10% battery says, okay, I can make this trip. And then it will leave the station, go make that trip, then come back and charge again, and then wait for the next trip, because it knows with its 10% battery, it can hurry up and go make that trip. And there'll be user settings that the customer, the owner of the vehicle, is able to set, like different parameters of like maybe the dollar amount of the rides. You might be able to just say, let Tesla pick and choose and have full control over who it picks up and all these things. Or, they can pick up whoever, whenever, but it needs to be at least a 4-star rated customer, right? And so now you have this whole platform. And Uber has the ability to do some of this, but Uber rides have to be accepted by a driver. The driver has to literally accept the ride. Maybe the ride's too long, maybe the ride's too short, blah, blah, blah things. So with that being said, let's say, for instance, you have 20 vehicles active, right, on the network right now in the city. And out of these 20 vehicles, all of them are set to open mode, aka let Tesla operate the vehicle how they want mode, right? Now Tesla can do things like be very strategic and operate all these vehicles as a singular fleet together, which is extremely powerful. This is where things can become extremely, extremely powerful. Why is that? because it can know that this vehicle's at 10%. Go send that one on a charge. We'll let this vehicle go out for a while, right? Then we'll swap it out. We'll let this other vehicle that's been out for a while driving come back. And so it knows the demand of the market right now. So it knows what vehicles can be at a charging station charging and basically allow for a shared revenue or a split revenue where basically Tesla is managing the vehicles and kind of also managing the revenue between the vehicles, and really technically could even do little profit sharing. Maybe, I don't know if I would think they would have to publicly display this and publicly display the rides, but maybe if you put it on full Tesla mode, maybe it goes into a profit sharing mode. What does profit sharing mode mean? Means that let's go back to the 20 vehicles. Out of those 20 vehicles, it made $20,000 today, right? And then Tesla literally just takes it and gives $1,000 to each vehicle. So each owner of each vehicle gets $1,000. And then Tesla just chooses and interchanges and mixes the vehicles in and out. And maybe they also try to balance out the amount of miles, right? Because like as an owner of a vehicle, you're going to be kind of upset if your vehicle did all the driving, but then you shared all the money, right? So you also have to share the mileage as well. You have to share the charge time as well. So all these things, if they all become shared, then now you've created a fleet system and an ecosystem of vehicles that can operate at the most efficient level, that can get to the customer the most quickly, that can have the most optimal charging sequences and man, just be able to operate it like a fleet. I mean, literally, you could send a vehicle out. You have one of the vehicle that has a 10% charge, and you're like, oh, this one needs to be charged like ASAP. So it sends that vehicle out, and it sends that vehicle out on a route that's going to end near a charging station, right? So therefore, it traveled a path where it didn't have to travel out of its way without making some revenue to get to the charge station. Boom, now it's at the charge station charge, right? And so now it was super efficient in picking up a customer, dropping off a customer, and then getting to a charger and reducing the amount of inefficiency, right? Versus like if you just drove all the way across town and there's not a charger over there at all, and you have to drive all the way back across town to go to a charger again, right? They can overall just manage those things, or they can take ride by ride and kind of inch you closer to a charging location especially until the infrastructure is built out where every single gas station has a charger, right? After I think there's an infrastructure where like every single gas station has a charger, and again, they're autonomous, or somebody at the gas station manually plugs in for you or something. You'd have to have one of the gas station clerks go out there and plug it in. But I mean, I don't know, relying on that just doesn't seem like a good idea. One, the vehicle might sit for 5 minutes for a gas station clerk gets out there to go plug it in. And also, too, if we're trying to, make things autonomous, like we shouldn't go to like manual plugging in the vehicle. It just has to be autonomous, right? I mean, you could easily do like a collaborative robot and just have a collaborative robot locate and then stick the charger in. That's a pretty easy fix as far as like taking non-autonomous charging stations and making them autonomous. The other thing is there, but I think it'll be further out than and maybe they're going to move along so quickly. Maybe this is why they're not discussing it, but maybe they're going to have Optimus plug in the charger. But I don't think that's going to be feasible, because I think it's going to cost too much money to have like one Optimus if you only have one charge station, right? If there's one charge station and one Optimus, I just don't think there's really a great ROI there. I think it'd be more efficient to maybe buy a different type of collaborative robot, or for them to design like a single-armed collaborative robot that could, it's literally just like a human arm almost, just like doing a plug-in motion only, with maybe a vision camera on it or something. Or they could do some other type of locationing type of system that could also plausibly do that. But Yeah, they're going to have to do something about the autonomous plugging because it's just not going to make sense to drive all the way back home to go charge, right? I mean, they have so much power and being able to make this a full fleet system and really drive so much efficiency. And there'd be so much lost time by vehicles just driving back to their owner's house, plugging into their owner's house. And then on top of that, like, I mean, an owner might be okay, but like, you know, especially if you want to do a fleet, a residential house can't support charging too many Teslas. Like, let's say, for instance, this became like a huge deal, right? And a lot of people wanted to do this. The vehicles would have to go to charge locations. You'd have to have massive charge locations because a residential neighborhood could not support it. You started throwing Teslas on every single house in the neighborhood, you're going to start blowing transformers and stuff like that because the load for the neighborhood was not designed to power as much power that a vehicle needs to be able to recharge. And like, again, if this becomes big and like, let's say for instance, every household has 5 of these, I'm giving an extreme example, right? Every household has 5 of these robotaxis. 101% you're blowing transformers. Like literally the grid just will not be able to handle charging all of these vehicles at one time. And even if they did some type of load balancing between all of them, like they could all communicate and know they're all in the same neighborhood together and know exactly what grid they're pulling off, which they probably don't know. I don't even think the grids have that good of a system. But yeah, there's just like no way. It would just, yeah, you would have electrical issues, right? The grid just could not support it. Maybe if you had like a power wall, if everybody had power walls and it could like kind of more of a trickle charge, it would slow charge the battery pack. So that way when the car came in, you could offload the battery pack into the vehicle instead of pulling directly from the grid. And if you also did solar, those would be a couple solutions that would kind of mix together to help eliminate that. But again, that's too much residential infrastructure, right? Unless like Tesla's going to start coming in and helping pay for that. I just don't see, residential individuals being able to afford that, right? There's not a lot of people that can even afford solar panels on their wall or Tesla power walls and stuff like that. Like people just can't afford those type of things. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got some comments here. It's been a while since I commented though. Eric R. Rivian is likely a likelihood for full self-driving licensing. They have stayed reasonably clear of Tesla bashing competition. After that, it would be some of the foreign OEMs. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of those companies are not staying on their good side, but I also think Elon is not going to pass up the revenue. He's a business guy. If they want to give him the revenue, he'll take it, right? And he also knows too that like he's just powerful in that way. Like if you take the revenue from them guys, they need their product, and if you want to cancel their product, that won't be good for them. Like a Ford. Like if he made a contract with Ford would not want they would stop the bashing. They wouldn't talk like that no more because, Tesla would say, look, we won't do business with you. Don't care. We'll go do business with Toyota, and then it'd be like, oh, huh. So, yeah. Point Optimus just drives the non-Tesla cars. Okay. Yeah. Or at some point, Optimus just drives the non-Tesla cars easier than integrating into the car. Crazy idea, Tesla, Robotaxi, and traffic Optimus driving the other OEM cars. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, no, I like that. That's a really good thought process, really good idea there. This is actually something that I thought might be shown at this Robotaxi day, is I thought maybe that they would show off the Robotaxi, but also while showing off the Robotaxi, they would show off the Optimus driving. Oh, shoot, we're going live here. Hold on.
World, outer space. I'm Franz. And on behalf of everybody at Tesla, welcome to We Robot.
Here we go, guys. Let's go.
Just want to thank Warner Brothers for hosting us here. As you know, this is the birthplace of many epic films, many of them depicting a vision of the future. We're here tonight to experience that future that is closer than you think.
Let's go.
And who better than Elon, right, to show us that future? So it looks like Elon's on his way. So let's welcome him up here.
Let's go. No, it's not a new vehicle. No, it's not. Oh shit, dude. Oh shit. Stock price is going up, boy. Stock price is going up. We're about to make some money today. I was hoping this. I was really hoping this was going to have another new vehicle. Oh no. Get out of here, dude. We just made some money today. Stock price is going 300. Stock price is going 300 by tomorrow, probably. If not over the course of this week. Oh, the week's almost over. Yeah. If they release this as a new vehicle, I mean, it has to be. It might just be a prototype, something. I mean, probably definitely a prototype for sure. For sure, not launching these, but turn this down a little bit till they're talking. Oh, there's multiple. Wow, they have multiple. There's no way these are in production though. Somebody would have leaked these already. Oh my gosh, is this a real video or are we looking at CGI? It looks kind of CGI-y. Is it real? Elon's in the fucking car. No shit. No way, dude. What? Look at that. Look at that light projection. No. No. That's cool. I like it. Yeah, if they release this as another vehicle in their fleet, if they release this as like the $25,000 vehicle, it's OV. That's a shooting up. That's a shooting up. Elon's so cool. He's like a cool nerd, you know? He's like the category I put myself in. He's a tech nerd. So cool.
Welcome. Welcome to
Welcome,
the
dude.
Wii Robot Party.
Hey, Elon.
So we have quite a show for you tonight. I think you're gonna like it. As you can see, I just arrived in the Robotaxi, the cyber cab.
The cyber cab. Let's
And
go. Is it gonna be
there's
launched?
20 more. Where that
20
came from.
more? Oh, they spent money on this.
So they've been traveling. They're all, there's no people in them, as you can see. The car's just going by with no people. And we have 50 fully autonomous cars here tonight.
50?
So you'll see
What's the other ones, dude?
Model Ys and the cyber cab, all driverless. You'll be able to take a ride in the cyber cab. There's no steering wheel or pedals.
No.
So I hope this goes well.
Let's do the
We'll find out.
Listen to the clown. They pushed this event back, by the way. This event was supposed to happen in August, but they wanted this to be perfect.
You see a lot of sci-fi movies where the future is dark and dismal, where it's not a future you want to be in. So, like, I love Blade Runner, but I don't know if we want that future. I think we want that duster he's wearing, but not the bleak apocalypse. We want to have a fun, exciting future that if you could look in a crystal ball and see the future, you'd be like, yes, I wish I could be there now. That's what we want. So when we think about transport today, there's a lot of kind of pain that we take for granted that we think is normal. Like having to drive around LA in like 3 hours of traffic. Yeah, and people that live in LA, I mean, try to get from Pasadena to, El Segundo during rush hour is like you can fly to, another city faster than you can get to cross down LA. So, and you have to drive the whole way. Unless you're in a Tesla, of course. Now, Tesla already does quite well at this, supervised self-driving. So supervised full self-driving is actually working quite well. I'm sure there's people in the crowd, you're using that, yeah?
Like it also casts
So
my big screens.
we'll move from supervised full self-driving to unsupervised full self-driving, where the car, you could fall asleep and wake up at your destination. So, but there's also a challenge for a lot of people that cars cost too much. I mean, when you factor in everything that goes into a car and the car insurance, the car payments, and the storage of the car, it's very expensive. So with, and you say like how often how many hours a week are cars used? Your average passenger car is only used about 10 hours a week, at 168 hours. So the vast majority of the time, cars are just doing nothing. But if they're autonomous, they could be used, I don't know, 5 times more, maybe 10 times more. So you could
That's
actually,
important.
for the same car, would have 5 times as much value, maybe 10 times as much value. There's 168 hours in the week, and like I said, only 10 of them are used for driving.
Yeah. This was
So,
saying
and
18,
then a bunch of those hours are looking for a
18
parking
to 20
spot,
hours.
which is, can be pretty annoying at times. So
18, 20 hours a day.
with autonomy, you get your time back. This is a very big deal. So it's not just like it'll save lives, like a lot of lives, and prevent injuries. I think we'll see autonomous cars become 10 times safer than a human.
Yep. Especially once it's a fleet.
If you think of times past where there used to be an elevator operator in every elevator, but once in a while they get tired and they accidentally shear somebody in half. So now we have automated elevators. You just get in an elevator and you press a button, and you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And it just takes you to the floor. And if you did see an elevator operator with a big relay switch, you'd be like, "That's weird."
Yeah. What's going on here, man?
Now that's how cars will be. And it's not just the lives saved in injuries, but if you think about the cumulative time that people spend in a car, and the time that they will get back, that they can now spend, well, I guess, on their phones, or watching a movie, or doing work, or whatever you want to do. You can think of the car in the autonomous world as being like just a little lounge. You're just sitting in a comfortable little lounge, and you can do whatever you want while you're in this comfortable little lounge. And when you get out, you will be at your destination.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, for me, like business, you know what I mean? I'm always working like literally every second I can. Like I literally have somebody drive me a lot of times so I can
in fact,
work.
I think the cost of autonomous transport will be so low that you can think of it like individualized mass transit.
It's gonna be wild.
Like the average
They'll
cost
put Uber out of business.
a bus per mile for a city, not the ticket price because that is subsidized, but the average price is about $1 a mile. Whereas the cost of cybercab, we think probably over
I don't know,
time,
those get leaked.
the operating cost is probably going to be around 20 cents a mile. And price, including taxes and everything else, probably ends up being 30 or 40 cents a mile. So yes, and you will be able to buy one.
When can we buy one?
Yes.
So ordering today.
And
If they ever
we
pre-order,
expect
you're
the
gonna catch
cost
me on
to
that
be below
website.
$30,000.
No, it's it. How much? You said?
And I think there'll be an interesting, business model where
Yeah, everybody
like,
cheered.
Say somebody is an, Uber or Lyft driver today, where they can actually sort of manage a fleet of cars.
Yep.
And like a sort of manage, I don't know, 10, 20 cars, and just sort of take care of them like a shepherd tends their flock. You have your flock of cars, and you're the shepherd, and you take care of your flock of cars. I think that'd be pretty cool. It's
going to open up for a lot of people.
I think it's gonna be a glorious future. It's
A lot
gonna be
of-
something special.
A lot of people are
So-
going to have new opportunities with the
Yes,
internet.
all excellent questions. So we do expect actually to start fully autonomous, unsupervised FSD in Texas and California next year.
Wow. We're going to get state regulatory approval probably, actually.
That's with the Model 3 and Model Y. And then we expect to be in production with the Cybercab, which is really highly optimized for autonomous transport in probably, well, I tend to be a little optimistic with timeframes.
You know that, boy.
But in 2026. So
2026, let's go. That's 1 year
before
away.
2027, let me put it that way.
Before 2027.
And we'll make this.
They'll need like
this
2 years
vehicle
to
in
build
very
up
high
the
volume.
line.
And but well before that,
But all their vehicles are the same.
Experience a robotic taxi via the Model 3 and Model Y program, and Model S and X too. But your 3 and Y will achieve unsupervised full self-driving with permission in wherever regulators essentially approve it in the U.S. and then to follow in outside the U.S. So, and it's Cybertruck too. Yes, of course. Sorry, I don't want to forget. Yes. All our cars are basically all cars that we make. So let's not get nuanced here. All right, next slide. So one of the reasons why the computer can be so much better than a person is that we have millions of cars that are training on driving. So it's like living millions of lives simultaneously and seeing very unusual situations that a person in their entire lifetime would not see.
Yeah, like that one.
Hopefully.
Holy moly, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So so with that amount of training data, it's obviously going to be much better than what a human could be.
I think these are near
We can't
misses
live a
by
million
Teslas.
lives. And it's also, it can see in all directions simultaneously.
The Tesla was able to stop
it.
it.
Doesn't get tired or text or any of those things.
Maybe it's just
so
footage, but
it will naturally be, like you said,
it seems like it's stopping nice and
10,
clean.
20, 30 times safer than a
Tesla.
human, just for all those reasons. And I want to emphasize that the solution that we have is AI and vision. So there's no expensive equipment needed. So the Model 3 and Model Y and S and X that we make today will be capable of full autonomy unsupervised. And that means that our cost of producing the vehicle is low. Now we are going to actually overspec the computer for the Cybercab. So our AI5 computer will be somewhat overspec. And because I think there's actually also an opportunity, sort of like Amazon Web Services, where if the car's driving for 50 hours a week, there's still over 100 hours left. And there's a potential there to have a massive amount of distributed inference compute. Where if you've got, like, say, a fleet of 100 million vehicles and a kilowatt of efficient inference compute, you have 100 gigawatts of compute.
Did you see it start?
Really quite substantial. And it's there, you might as well use it. So
Elon rode in on it.
yeah, so that I think will make sense. So all right, so our autonomous future is here. As I said, we've got 50 Teslas driving autonomously. We're trying to give you a sense of what cities will be like in the future. And when you get in, you'll see, like, it's really quite a wild experience to just be in a car with no steering wheel, no pedals, no controls, and it feels great. And we have enough vehicles here, so everyone should be able to try it out and experience the set that we've built here. It's a very big set, so it's like really, we've used sort of, I don't know, 20, 30 acres or something like that. It's really big. So it goes on, the ride's long. And we set it up to feel like a ride, like a park ride. So it'll be cool, and you'll get to experience it tonight.
Let's go. They pretty much
Something we're
stood
also
330,000
doing
the
and
vehicle
it's
too.
high time we did this, is inductive charging. So the Robotaxi has no plug.
Here it is.
It just
Here it
goes
is.
over the inductive charger and charges.
A Tesla
So,
robot for
yeah.
cleaning. I knew it. Let's go.
It's kind of how it should be. Thanks, guys. I love you too. So one of the things that is really interesting is how will this affect the cities that we live in? And when you drive around the city, or when the car drives you around the city, you'll see there's a lot of parking lots. There's parking lots everywhere.
Yeah.
Parking garages. And so what would happen if you have an autonomous world is that you can now turn parking lots into parks.
Yep.
And so we're taking the ing lot out of parking lot. Welcome.
A lot.
Um,
Let's go.
So there's a lot of opportunity to create green space in the cities that we live in.
Yeah. The bigger. Oh, what is this? Stop playing. What is this?
So that would be quite fantastic.
No.
Also,
This is lagging, I think.
what happens if you need a vehicle
Look at this, look.
is bigger than a Model Y?
No, they got a bus coming, dude. Let's go.
The Robovan. The Robovan is
Robovan.
this is we're going to make this, and it's going to look like that.
He will make
Can
it
you
like that
imagine
too.
going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick.
Wow, let's go,
This
dude.
can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods. So you can configure it for goods transport within a city, or
Look at that.
transport of up to 20 people at a time.
Look how nice it looks inside.
So this is gonna, the Robovan
Oh,
is what's
nice.
gonna solve for high density.
Let's go,
If
dude.
you want to take a sports team
Tesla
somewhere,
to 400.
or, you're looking to really get the cost of travel down to, I don't know, 5-10 cents a mile, then you can use the Robovan.
Yeah.
Some people call it the Robovan.
Perfect for events or something like that, you know? Yeah,
So,
you
yeah.
have a stadium,
You know, one of the things that
football
we wanna
games.
do, and we've seen this with the Cybertruck, is we want to change the look of the roads. The future should look like the future.
Let's go, dude. Dumb. Look at that.
So,
Beautiful. Beautiful. Holy shit. How'd they keep all this under wraps?
speaking of robots,
Oh, here he is. He's coming with Optimus.
so everything we've
Might be
developed
scared
for our
people.
cars, the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot.
It does. Let's
The same
go.
techniques. It's
Oh, I'm
just a
excited about
robot
this,
with
dude.
arms and legs instead of a robot with
Let's
with
go.
wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something
Holy
that
cow.
anyone could own. So you could have your own personal
Oh, my God.
R2D2 C3PO.
Dude, how do they keep all this under wraps, dude? They had to keep
And
people in a basement with
I
no
think-
cell phones.
At scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000-$30,000. Probably less than a car, is my prediction long term. Now, it'll take us a minute to get to the long term, but
Yeah.
But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your
Oh,
dog,
man.
mow your lawn,
CGI or
get
just
the
legit.
groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks. Whatever.
Oh,
you can
he's
think
not
of,
going to serve the
they
drinks.
will do.
Somebody did predict that. That's a pretty good
And
prediction.
yeah,
We're
it's going
gonna
to be
do.
awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any
Ever.
kind. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is what I was talking about
Because
earlier.
I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe 2. And then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of good, a good outcome. Look on the right side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want.
Yeah,
It will be an age
grass
of
cut,
abundance,
laundry
the
done,
likes
whatever.
of which people have not, almost no one has envisioned. It'll be something special. So, now one of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots.
Okay.
So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar. And you'll directly, I mean, that's just, it's a wild experience just to have humanoid robots, and they're there, just in front of you. So, yeah, with that, let's party. I love you guys too. If you look at that gazebo over there, let's get the party started.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
That's cool. Yeah, actually flying out to India at like 3 a.m. So that's why I'm like not studioed up and like everything like that. We actually had like a final family dinner before we leave for India and everything. So like, and I've only been in town for like 2 weeks. I was in Mexico before that. So, yeah, I just been like all over the place this year. It's been like freaking wild. Like the past 1 year, been like in town like 4 months. The rest has been just like traveling for clients and stuff like that, and just just taking care of business and stuff. But yeah, going to India tomorrow morning. I think we don't have any audio here. They shut the music off. It's okay. But yeah, so had a lot going on recently. Oh no, these like they shut it off. They're done. What's going on here? No way. No way. All right, I might go on other socials and stuff like that and start like skimming through what all's there. Oh, it's back. Okay. Getting a different camera feed on, probably. Oh, they put those rims on there. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be extremely cool. I'm letting these guys drive the vehicles, riding the vehicles. We're gonna see all kinds of content about this. This is where Tesla's so good at like launching these events and stuff like that. They launch them, like an amazing corporation. Like Google does their launches, and Apple used to do their launches and stuff like that with Steve Jobs, and the way that they do these launches and keeping things kind of secret and then just letting them all out in one go like this is like monumental, right? Because this is what creates the excitement around these things and makes people like, just really excited and it helps get them more publicity and marketing. But yeah, get some more publicity and marketing. So, it's kind of loud music. So people are going to be posting. I mean, look at all these hundreds of people that are here at this event that are taking videos and taking photos and stuff like that. They're going to be posting for weeks at a time about all the things that they've seen, different videos and like live stream stuff like I'm doing now. Like there's so many people. I mean, this live stream is like hardly any people on it, probably. There's a few people. But I mean, hundreds of thousands, millions of people will see these live streams. And they post and all the contents that are going to go on around this. And not only did they just come out with the Robotaxi thing, some other people predicted some things, but them coming out with all the things that they came out with, they came out with like 4 different things, right? And this is why I also think it's going to drive the stock price up to past $300 now. Here's the couple things. One, they just showed some autonomous level driving, with Elon getting in and everything like that. We'll kind of have to see later on, like how much of a track they're traveling, and you know what I mean. I don't know that this shows off a lot because people are already driving autonomously on real roads anyway. I mean, it's not like without a steering wheel and everything like that, but it's already being done, right? So I don't know if that part they're actually showing too much on it. I think it's kind of good they did this event, the way they presented it and everything like that. It was just overall just very well orchestrated. The next big thing that they launched was just showing that there'll be a Robotaxi vehicle. So the Robotaxi vehicle is another vehicle in their lineup, right? It's another vehicle they're going to manufacture. It's going to be a 2-door vehicle. And then this is actually one of the other key points that was there. It's going to be under $30,000. So the fact that it's going to be under a $30,000 vehicle, that's a huge, huge deal. this is what Tesla's really been needing and been needing for a long time. This vehicle right here, if they're smart, they're going to make this as an autonomous option and a non-autonomous option, and be able to sell this at the $30,000 mark, right? So it'll have a steering wheel and pedals and all that, and I think into the future they'll have it without the steering wheels and pedals. I think they presented this as a vehicle without steering wheels and pedals, and giving this demo of without steering wheels and pedals to just give that vibe of what it's going to be like. But really, just kind of giving that visual impression and experience to individuals that I don't want to say they're further along than what they say they are, but it's going to give the feel that they're further along, right? Because you're seeing a vehicle without the steering wheel, without the pedals. I think they're going to make the vehicle with steering wheels and pedals when they go to actually manufacture it. But again, that's the big deal. They're going to produce another vehicle. It's going to be at another price point, which they needed this price point because just none of the other vehicles are hitting this price point. So that was a massive deal. And then they're coming out with basically this the Robo Bus here. This is another big deal because it's going to be able to. It's going to take on the bus sector, right? I mean, maybe this is the exact model they make. I don't know that it's the most optimal size. I think that it has a good use case, that size of a vehicle with that many seats. I think it could be very good for like events, and like maybe people get dropped off like a block away from an event, and then you have more of this shuttle that takes people to where they need to go. Or like similarly, like when you're in an airport and you have to get on, a bus that takes you out to wherever your airplane's at sometimes. Something like this would be a perfect solution for that, where it can just autonomously drive between the two or in a loop or whatever. So I think that will be a super valuable product. The one thing that's not there that could come out of one of these other products, like the bus, is like a drivable bus. I mean, I think that was freaking awesome that they came out with that. I mean, maybe it's even remote controlled. They're not disclosing exactly how it drove out there. I think it's very unlikely that it was autonomously driven out there. I think somebody with a controller probably drove it out there because, again, when I was talking about calibration earlier, I went through some of the technological things there, and the calibration I just don't think would be ready. They haven't calibrated the cameras well, enough, and just because there's not been enough driving of the vehicle, it appears like this is the only one that they have. So, with that being said, what's this? So with that being said, they've probably only produced the one vehicle, which means they haven't had the ability to do a lot of testing. Now, the other vehicle where they have 20 prototypes, they've probably been testing that and running that vehicle all around that lot for the past, months to really just get the amount of data that was needed. There was even some reports of people manually collecting data. Oh, Model Y is doing it. That's cool. I wouldn't even want to drive in the Model Y. I'd want to drive in the new Taxi just to see if the vibe's any different. The Ys maybe don't have steering wheels too, just for the presentation. Definitely super cool. I mean, the fact that they have 20 prototypes already out, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, Tesla does a really good job making all their vehicles kind of the same. They're all pretty cookie cutter. So, like, it makes it a lot easier to just, transition things into other vehicle models. Like, there's some things that we do in our sector, like it's made for the Ford F-150. And then the Ford F-250, it's a different product. Maybe small design changes, but there's still like a different design change and model changeover type of stuff. But I think they do a really good job of being efficient at that. So like the same two seats that are in those driver seats are likely the same ones that are like in the Model 3 and the Model Y, seats. So it makes it easier to get something like this up and running and use actual manufactured seats. So like a lot of this stuff may not even be prototyped. It's like, the seats and stuff like that are probably not a prototype. And like the dashboard's probably not a prototype. Probably the prototyping of this vehicle is just the shell of the vehicle. They probably had it manually welded. up a vehicle and just put all the normal hardware in it that would be in like a, a Model 3 or something. Also, too, if they put the cameras in the exact same locations, then they could also get by with the calibration issues. That would also resolve the calibration issues. This is wild. The Tesla robot just like being here in public with these people. I wonder what all kind of interactions and stuff they can do. Is there audio with that? I want to see. I don't think there's any audio about the music. Yeah, I'd really like to see. Let me see if there's somebody live there. I'll go look on another. See if I can get live. Okay. So we got some other people going live here. I want to see something there. See if we can get some behind the scenes. All right, good deal. I think we got this recorded too, so we'll probably also put this out as a recorded version of this video. I did a lot of yip yakking in the beginning whenever they didn't launch the event on time, so yeah. They might come back on stage and talk. I don't know, but I got to wrap this thing up because 3 a.m. rolls around early and it's 10:31 p.m. here. So, yeah, I just wanted to capture this event. I had to watch the event. We were planning to live stream. I almost didn't live stream just because like everything that was going on and whatnot. But, yeah, decided to do it last minute. And that's why I'm not in the studio. I'm just actually here in my living room right now. But definitely watch back on the beginning part of this video if you're like interested in any other Robotaxi or any of the Optimus content. We have a playlist for that on our YouTube channel. Also just manufacturing and automation related. We have a lot of topics and playlists regarding that. That's really the core of what we do and what we do as a business. And one of my core businesses is that automation and robotics and, for the manufacturing sector. So that's why I love these things. That's why I'm like really like rooting for the the Robotaxi, but all, anything autonomous, right? That's what we do. We automate things, we make things autonomous. So like this is literally what we do, just like on steroids, So the Robotaxi thing, but really the Optimus robot, it's going to play in the manufacturing field. It's going to play in the residential field. It's going to be probably in the manufacturing before it's in the, the homes, right? So you'll start seeing more use cases of this in a manufacturing setting. And there's just so much ROI there for operations that still have humans doing them, and they could have like the Optimus do it. It looks like they're making good progress. I mean, it looks like the robot's looking good. He's looking fairly agile, but you can definitely tell he's just kind of like in a demo mode. He's in like a demo mode where he's not working, I don't know, super autonomously. It looks like people are being able to pick and choose what they want and stuff. And like the dude gave him a thumbs up. He gave him a thumbs up back. I mean, those are things that I like to see. The dude gives him a thumbs up. He gives a thumbs up back. Like, it's really hard to say without like getting face to face with the robot and getting the actual intel of what's going on behind the scenes. Hard to tell what the actual status is of the robot, right? Is it just kind of mimicking people? How's it trained, right? Can you put it in certain modes where it's using a different training model? Because like, say for instance, like when you're doing the initial teaching of these things, especially with AI, you have to run different AI models, and maybe different AI models in different instances. So like what they run back at the shop may not be what they're, maybe they're running an AI model that's like demo mode. So, he's reacting more differently, right? Maybe he's doing more mimicry to just kind of show that he's recognizing what the people in front of him are doing, which is a cool thing, right? If he can do mimicry, it's definitely a good thing, because again, if he can do mimicry, then he can, start to learn from other humans. So, yeah, again, you'd have to be there. You'd have to really talk to some of the engineers and see like what all I can actually do, and to really know where it's truly at. But good deal. Thank you for everybody who signed in. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're interested in content like this, or interested in content that's manufacturing related, or just overall our business journeys. We're trying to do the MG YouTube channel. Not a very high priority right now, but that one's more like just what's going on with business and stuff like that, and the different business endeavors that we're doing. Again, we're like just really behind and not really paying much attention to it right now, but we will at some point in time. We're just kind of slowly releasing as we can. But yeah, this is our main focus. Our main, like, more YouTube, LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. Malachi Greb. We have quite a few followers over there. Again, manufacturing, automation related. Definitely things Tesla related. So yeah, subscribe, follow, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Thanks everybody for joining.